So, video number 2. I finished a couple of books too, so yay! I'm going to try and at least finish one book a week. It's always been my goal, but I rarely make it, so we'll see how it goes. Anywho, I'm going to start with what I am reading right now. I have made it to Defiance. Defiance by C.J. Redwine. This is the book about the girl. It's a dystopian world where all the girls have protectors and her father goes missing and she is assigned a new protector but eventually ends up running away. I literally just started it. See? I'm only on page like 6. So, I just started it today because I just finished a book last night. Thanks to my hubby who let me stay up a little later to finish the last 5 pages after D&D last night. He almost didn't let me, but he was nice. I appreciated it. So this is what I'm reading now. So far, yeah, not very far into it, so I can't really say nothing much yet. But that's what I'm reading now. Sorry. The book that I just finished last night was Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. I loved it. I plan to make this part of my collection. I love this book. This is the retelling of Peter Pan. It's a little darker than like if you grew up with, you know, the Disney movie like I did. This is definitely a little darker. I mean, it's not like graphic or anything, but it's definitely not meant for children, obviously. But I found out that yes, I agree with the comments that I've heard most about this book. Yes, I no longer like Wendy. Bad Wendy. She just has to ruin everything. But I loved this book. It was absolutely beautiful, and it was so well written that I could actually picture everything in my mind. And it was just, it's beautifully written, and I love how I love TikTok, who is not your average person because he was a male who dressed as a woman. So I liked that was in there. I thought that was interesting. I don't see that very often in the books that I read. So, but TikTok was a great character. I loved him. And towards the end, it definitely had some feels moments. Like, I seriously wanted to start crying at the end. So sad. But it does have a happy ending, just not the one that I had hoped for. So there's that. But I loved it, and I do plan on making it part of my personal collection. So that's Tiger Lily. I also read, I'll have to pull them up on my Goodreads because the one I took back, I should have talked about them last week. They're the books I forgot. The first one, make sure I pull up the right page. There we go. Okay. The first one that I had read and forgot to mention was The Jewel by Amy Ewing. And you can't really see it very well. Sorry, tried. It's the first book. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a trilogy. I think is all it's going to be. It's kind of like the Selection series, but it's dark Selection series. Basically, the main character, she's from a low sector. It's a dystopian world, but she's from the lowest sector. And when girls come of age in the lowest sector, they have to undergo this testing, and they found out that she is a surrogate, basically. Which in this world, the royals of the world, they can't have their own children. So anyone who ends up being a surrogate is basically sold to, they're taken away as soon as they find out, and they undergo training, because they also have like these special abilities, and they undergo this training to learn how to control the abilities, because they have to use them for their surrogacy. And then when they're ready, they are basically taken and put into like an auction, and they're auctioned off to the highest bidder. And yeah, their lives, even though they live in royal palaces, they're treated like crap. That's basically what's going on there. But I really liked it. The main character, Violet, things are going to happen, and I can't wait to find out what. So, I can't wait for the next books to come out. So that was The Jewel. Then I had also finished the 4th book of a series that I had been reading for the last year. It's the 4th book to the Starfire Angels. The Starfire Angels, the Dark Angel Chronicles. Forever Dark. I'll try. That showed up a little bit better. But yeah. The main character is Rhea. She's a crystal keeper, and this one is where they kind of defeat the evil. I thought it was going to be done, but then I found out there's actually a whole nother series that continues on from this. So I still have to check that out. Kind of at a loss of what to say about it, because I don't want to give away too much since it's the last book. Oh my god, sorry. I don't want to give away anything. Knowing my luck, I would. Then I finished Spellcaster, which is what I was reading last week. I actually finished it the same day that I recorded the video. I finished it later that night. But as a reminder, I wonder... No, I can't. But that's what the cover looked like. Ooh. And this is the one that it's about witches. and the main character, Nadia, had just moved into town, and basically the town itself is sick and trying to figure out why, and she basically has to help figure out a way to save the town. So yeah, that's what the first book is about. I'll get better, I promise. But yeah, I'm afraid of giving too much away, but I mean, she's a witch. She hasn't completed her training or anything, but her mom kind of walks out on the family, and they move from, I think it's, where did they move from? I think it's New York. It's either New York or Chicago. One of those two. But they moved to basically a small town called Captive Sound. And their journey there kind of starts off interesting, as even they're just trying to get into the town. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of her worrying because she doesn't know what exactly she's going to be able to do, because she's not up to her full abilities yet, because she hasn't completed her training, and she doesn't think that she ever will, because, you know, her mom is gone, and she was her only teacher. So that's what that first book is about. I'm excited to read on to the next ones. My son's taking a nap, and I was up late last night, so I probably should have taken a nap myself, but I got stuff to do. So what I'm going to be reading next, I guess, is all I can think of this time. I have the book Red Queen that still hasn't come in from the library yet. So as soon as that one comes in, I'm going to have to set everything else aside and read that, because I'm not going to be able to renew it because there's been a waiting list for it. So I need to get it read first before I finish anything else. So even if it comes before I finish Defiance, I think I'll probably be able to renew Defiance, but I definitely know I won't be able to renew Red Queen. But that's what the cover looks like. I know it's backwards for you guys, or at least it looks backwards to me. I don't know if it fixes itself when I upload the video. I wonder if it does. I should look at that. But, I really don't know much of anything about this, other than, I know that there's two different, like, I know it's a dystopian, and there's, like, two different, I don't know what to call it, bloodlines? There's two groups. There's the Reds and the Silvers. And you basically know which is which because the Reds have red blood and the Silvers have silver blood. The Silvers also have powers. There's all kinds of different powers. Like, I know there's like telekinesis, telepath, There's even something called stone skin, like fire, shoot fire or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of different powers, but only the silver group has the powers. So I think I don't know what the red's place is. I mean, my guess would probably be like they're kind of like the servants to the silvers. So I want to read it very badly and find out what it's all about. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I should have just taken a nap. Sorry. I'm excited to read it because I'm into reading like supernatural books, like when it comes to magic and stuff like that. It's something I enjoy reading about. It's fun. So there's that. So when that comes in, I'm going to read that. But until then, I'm reading Defiance. Once I finish Defiance and Red Queen, I'm going to finish a couple of books that I was reading before I got any of the library books. I'm going to start with City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, because I'm farther in that. I'm almost done with it. So I'm going to finish this one up since it's almost done. I'm really liking it. I want to finish it, and then I still have to get the other books too. But I'm late. I'm behind the times. I know. This is what happens when you put books away for so long. Bad me. So, but I'm really liking it, and I can't wait to read the other ones. Yeah, it's a whole nother way of doing all of the supernatural stuff. Definitely a way I haven't read before, so that's what I'm... It's kind of been gloomy outside, which has a lot to do with it for me. Weather affects me. I don't know why. It gets annoying sometimes, especially when I get headaches. But that's what I'm going to be reading after I finish my library books. Then once I finish that, I'm going to finish reading Falling Kingdoms, sorry, by Morgan Rhodes. I've gotten quite a bit into this too. I had put down City of Bones because I was curious about this one because I hadn't heard anything about it. My husband surprised me with the first two books. I don't think the third one was out yet, but it's out now. I don't know if there's only going to be 3 books. I don't know yet. I'm going to find out though. But I'm reading the first one and I'm really liking it. This kind of makes, you might all hate me for it, but I haven't watched or read Game of Thrones yet. I've only seen like commercials and stuff for it, and this reminds me of that. So they might be similar, but I can't really say because I haven't read or watched Game of Thrones in actuality. So can't really make a definite comparison, but this is what it reminded me of. So I'm liking this. I'm just getting into where there's basically going to be like some kind of war starting. Oh my gosh, I really should have just taken a nap. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be finishing up after City of Bones. And then I've got the second one to this to read. And I also have Witch and Wizard to read. Which I'm kind of getting impatient to read that one, because that's one I've been wanting to read for a long time too. But I want to finish what I have started first before I start in with a whole new series on top of one almost completed one that I already have. And then I don't mind reading the City of Bones series and the Witch and Wizard series at the same time. I'm trying to get down to just reading one book at a time. Because, yeah, you tend to start confusing books. So that's what the plan is for coming up next. One other thing that I had was that I had won another contest. This one I'd been expecting for a week, because I found out last week that I had won. But I hadn't gotten the book in the mail yet, so obviously I didn't say anything yet. But this time it was something through Barnes and Noble from Instagram. You know, one of those things where you basically repost their giveaway picture that they have. Yeah, it was from that. It's All the Rage by Courtney Summers. And it's different from what I normally read, because this is basically it's still fiction. That's the library my book is in. If you could hear my phone ringing. So now I'm gonna have to make a trip to the library. I'm excited though. Okay, anywho. Sorry. Nerding out for a minute. Okay. Alright. Back to this. It's different from what I normally read, because I normally read, like, you know, science fiction, dystopian, supernatural. That's what I normally read. But I do enjoy, like, contemporary romances to shake things up some. I do like shaking my stuff up. Okay. But, this is a real world story. It basically, it's having to do with rape. And, the main character, she is given a really rough time about it, because the guy that raped her is someone who everybody believes can't do any wrong. His dad's a cop, and everybody thinks they seem to think he's just the golden boy. So they don't believe her. And it really tears her up. And then another girl from another town, from a neighboring town, is attacked by the same guy. And it's basically going to come down to a choice that the girl has to make on whether or not to come forward about the guy again, or let it go because everybody, they didn't believe her the first time. Everybody picked on her. She gets bullied now. So when it happens to another girl, she's going to have to make the choice of, do I come forward again and try to stop this, or do I let it go? But also have it on my conscience that this can happen again, and it could possibly end up worse. So she's got that kind of decision to make. So I'm definitely going to have tissues nearby, because women getting attacked is something that it's kind of it's just one of those subjects that really gets me. It really affects me. So I'm definitely going to need tissues when I read this. But I'm also hoping that I can, because even though I have no experience or know anybody with experience with rape, I'm hoping that reading this can open my eyes and maybe give me ideas on, if I were to ever encounter someone like that, have a way to maybe help in some way, or be able to guide them into helping themselves and not let them become the mess that I know a lot of women who have been through that would be. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. Already I think it might be something that I would recommend everybody read, just because of the strong message. So yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading that. It's probably going to go to the top of my list after I finish what I've already got going on. So yeah, that's All the Rage by Courtney Summers. And this is a new author for me. I've never heard of her before, so I'm excited. So yeah, that's been this week. So hopefully get at least one book read, maybe two. Maybe I'll shoot for two. But since the library called, that means Red Queen is in, because that's the only book I have on hold. So, yes! So, I'm going to have to go and get ready and go get that, because I'm tired of waiting. So it's a good thing I didn't get very far in Defiance. But that's okay, because I can take Tiger Lily back while we go. So I can get that back and renew Defiance, because I know I'm going to need more time now since it's due on Friday. So we'll find out then if I can actually renew it or not. But if I can't, I know it's not going to be too much of a wait. Well, it will be, because they had to order it in from another library. But I didn't have to wait for someone to bring it back. So the most I would have to wait is another week for it to come back in, which I can do impatiently. Who knows, maybe I can finish my other books while I'm waiting. What can you do? Alright, I'll stop rambling. Thanks for watching. Read on. Have fun. Live life. The weather's been nice. I'm excited to have a fire. Every time we've thought about having a fire, Mother Nature's decided to kick up the wind. So we haven't felt safe. Well, my husband, more than me, hasn't felt safe to have a fire. I've kind of been trying to talk him into it regardless. Which, I'm impatient, what can I say? I got patience when it comes to my kids, but not when it comes to everything else. That's because my kids take up all my patience. They're good kids, but I'm sure every parent feels like that, though. Alright, I'm going to stop rambling. Talk to you later.